mutant. Escape is impossible. Hello everybody, Craig Warrack here with another vlog, and it's just Warrack. That's the name I'm going with. That's the end of that. Okay, so this time what have I got for you? I've got a look into how my diorama is coming, Latveria, still work in progress. I'll look into the customs that are going to go with it. Again, still work in progress. A couple of tutorials. One is about making stained glass windows for your dioramas, and the other is about sculpting girly hair. Gorgeous. And there's some other stuff, including an unboxing and a couple of guest stars, I guess you would call them. So I guess let's get to it. Here's a little look at some of the progress I've made. It's coming on really well. This is basically it to the point where I thought I would kind of be finished with it, but upon seeing the finished thing I realised it was very grey. So what I'm working on is adding, well, I've got the pillars here and I'm adding some, you know, they can be the plain, if you rotate them, they can be the plain sort of stone pillars, but you can rotate them round and expose some sort of technology and stuff, and that was part of my original design, to have one of the pillars do that. It doesn't add a lot of colour, but it adds a bit more interest. This one also has the same thing going on, with some cabling down there. I've still to do some work on that, really. And I'm going to do more sort of, I think, exposed areas of technology within the brickwork. You can see here I've put the stained glass window in the back wall. So what I'll do is I'll show you how I did that. And I've extended the diorama a bit forward so there's more room in front of the throne to do stuff. And I'm working on making a banner for the wall. And you'll probably remember that design from my sketches at the start. I've been cutting out, this is all cut out from sheets of paper, so it was very intricate and very difficult for me. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm going to fold it up and make it look more realistic, not look so much like a sheet of paper, so hopefully that's going to come out okay, and then I'll probably hang it maybe on that side. Or am I going to make two? I don't really think I have it in me to make two. So let's take a closer look at the stained glass window. I think I'll just show you what I did here. If you're interested in making your own stained glass window effects, this might be useful. It's very crafty and obvious, but here we go. It looks very integrated here, but it really isn't. It's you know, I've just cut a hole in the diorama and put the stained glass window on the back, so we'll take that off and just look at the window itself. So it is transparent, so the light will shine through it in different conditions. This side is slightly raised, this side is smooth, and I'll show you how I did that, because that's the effect that stained glass windows have, is that they have raised lead lining holding the glass together. So first things first, you find a design that you want to put on your window. I just looked on the internet and I found this image of Dr. Doom. It's simple, it's stark, it's what I was after basically. So I traced that over onto just a sheet of paper. You could go print it out as well. This is just a guideline for myself. And you can see here I added in some of the tentacle effects that eventually were surrounding the window. They're actually not going to be part of the design. So I just sketched it out there. And then I just get a sheet of acetate. This is the clear plastic that probably school teachers would have used in your science class, an overhead projector to bore the shit out of you. I guess you can also put that through the printer, but you know, I don't have a printer, so you just get the acetate and you tear it off and lay it on top of your image, and then you're going to trace the image through with a Sharpie. That's the Sharpie, nothing special, and we're just going to draw on it. That's a little intricate for this demonstration, so I'll just do something very simple. I've drawn out a really simple design. I'm just going to trace that on with the Sharpie. Very poorly, it seems. I think my Sharpie might be running out. Hopefully you would take more time and do it correctly rather than that. But there we have it. Now, what I used next was this. It's a relief outliner, sort of paint pen. You can probably find it at your local craft or art store. Making stained glass windows is very popular with stay-at-home crafty housewives. So what you do is you just squeeze the pen and go round your design. Again, better than I'm doing. The reason I drew it with a Sharpie first of all was in case the paper underneath slides around, I would still have the design placed where I want it. Okay, so that's me done the outlining. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in a few more lines, because stained glass windows are really broken up. Beyond the core design or picture, they have a lot of lines. Try and be as irregular as possible. Okay, and we're going to leave that to set. Alright, so that's dried. So well, you can see it's now a little bit raised. That's the nature of that liner we used. So we're going to take some clear paint now. I'm using Tamiya. You can also find specific like glass paint, and just layer it on quite heavily actually. Being very messy here. And the raised areas should stop it bleeding or sort of running into areas that it's not supposed to. Anyway, you get the picture. You lay that on heavily and let it dry, and then if you lift it up you'll see that it's a bit streaky at some places, so come back and apply another layer or two if you feel the need, and keep on going over it until you're satisfied with the opacity of it. And that really is all there is to it, to making a stained glass window sort of effect. You notice that some of the black is not quite consistent, so what I did with mine was on the other side, the back side, I can't turn it over as the paint's still wet, I took just some normal acrylic black or a fine brush and I just painted the lines in to give them a bit more of a consistent line. So there we have, moving from a very simple start, a sketch, drawing over it with the outliner, or if you can't find that, just use some black acrylic, filling in with clear Tamiya paint or any kind of glass paint that you find at a craft store, and just building it up over time, and you'll be able to do something like this or better hopefully. And I've just attached some hot glue magnets so that it can just attach to the diorama, and there we go, stained glass windows. Just going to take a walk on a not too terrible, miserable Scottish day. Gonna go to see Glen. Got some figures to pass on and a letter. Exciting stuff. Let's go. Save £25. Randomly, there's an aviary on the way. Let's go look at some birds, shall we? Hey, little cage birdie things. Oh, you are noisy. Is that where you live, is it? How exciting. Sorry, you just got to view bars there. That's very exciting. Shall we keep going? Let's. Smaller than you thought, isn't it? Squirrel, 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 squirrel. Hey, Mr. Squirrel. What are you doing? Eating some shit? Freeze. Not putting on a very good show. What, you got, a chocolate biscuit? You're weird.
And this is where the magic happens. Glenn Webb filming an action figure comparison for YouTube. Be very silent. He doesn't even know I'm here.
So that's me coming back from Glenn's. Gave him my Black Widow. Got his footage done. He'll probably have his video up sooner than me. But just heading home now. Marvel Universe Lover has asked me if I could do a mini tutorial on how to sculpt girl hair. Seeing as I have lovely, luscious, long blonde locks myself, I'm the right guy to ask. And I've brought these 3 lovely recent Marvel Legends ladies along to have a look at the hair they have. Now, Hasbro has done a really good job recently on their female figures, and their hair is no exception. These 3 represent different styles. The Black Widow here is representing the short hair, just shoulder length, that allows her head to articulate fairly well. Does restrict it going back the way. But there we are. Spider Girl here is representing the ponytail. It's a favourite for articulated female figures. It allows pretty much full range of motion in the head because the hair doesn't settle around the shoulders. And Black Cat here is representing the full huge hairdo, and with its obvious downfall of actually not being able to move the head very much without it just coming off. So if you're thinking about making a custom action figure, before you think about sculpting the hair, you have to think about designing the hair. This hairstyle is obviously the best. It doesn't fall around her shoulders and allows for full articulation of the head. This is a little bit better. It's a medium between the two, between the full articulation and yep, you're not going anywhere. You may not have a lot of leeway in how much you can design the hair. You'll likely be making a character that's hairstyle is pretty much set. So you just have to make what you can make. Personally, because we sculpt in epoxy putty or similar, the hair is going to be very rigid, whereas the factory made figures are going to have this slightly bendable plastic hair, something that we probably can't do unless we start moulding and casting out of different plastics. So if you can, just take the hair off a figure and put it on your custom and use that. But I have been asked to show you how to sculpt female hair, so I'm going to do that. It's worth noting that if you do want to do a full head of hair like this, then it can get very heavy when you use epoxy putty. And also it can become very brittle. The long and thin can snap easily compared to this more flexible type of plastic. For example, these areas hanging off her would just snap if that was epoxy putty. So something you can do is you can drill into the head and put a length of fairly rigid wire or something else similar and use that inside the hair that you're building to support it so that it cannot bend at all and it will not snap because the wire is obviously strong enough to support it. It does add extra weight, but you can't win them all. So I'm going to bring in now a custom that I'm working on to go with my Latveria diorama.
So here we have the work in progress figure. If you know who this is, full marks. If you don't, I don't really blame you. This is based on the black cat body that you saw a few moments ago. I've removed her hair and I've started to build my own hairstyle onto her. Also on this side, her face is ruined on the right hand side of her face, so that's what's going on over here, and this is actually where I will be doing some work on the hair. This side I'm using as an example. It needs smoothed out a bit, sanded down a little bit to take off some of the ragged edges, but I'm fairly happy with this. Also, you may notice that I have tried to articulate the head. I've given her a short hairstyle accompanied by a section of hair that's sculpted onto her shoulder, so that when her head articulates, it doesn't really upset the balance or the look of the figure. So the first step when it comes to sculpting hair, and I'm going to use the back as an example, is to just get epoxy clay and lay it on the back and then score into it these sort of grooves. And you can just use a toothpick for this. You can just score in there. This is obviously all dried already, but that's basically how I achieved these effects. And you can just build up the very base shape of the hairstyle doing that. You see, I built up this sort of style there and coming down over her eye doing that. And that's what I've already done round the back. But you'll notice that this area around the back is far less intricate than this area down here. And I'm going to show you the technique that I use to add these curls and sort of bits of flowing hair that just make it come more to life, adds depth and a bit of flair to the hair. So like I said, we're going to be using epoxy putty. I've got mine here. Mine is Milliput. If you want to use another epoxy clay or putty, then go on Google, find another one, find one that's near you, buy it, use it. Just go on and get on with it. I don't know where you can buy it. I'm just going to mix the epoxy clay here, and I'm just going to use small amounts. Okay, so I've mixed up my epoxy putty there, and I'm just going to show you how not to do it. You may be tempted to just roll it out into a snake and stick it on her head, but that's not what we're going to do. What we want to do is roll it out into a snake and then do something extra. So I'm going to take, well, big enough bit so that you can see it, but it's probably going to be too big for her dainty little cranium. So like I said, roll it out, and then you can get your toothpick and just dip it in some water so that the clay doesn't stick to it, and then we're going to roll it flat. So rather than a snake, what we want to get is a ribbon. And that's the key word, I feel, when sculpting female hair. Ribbon. So there we have it. Now, there's a couple more steps. It's sticking to my fingers a little. I should have left it to lie for a little bit longer. I'm going to dip my toothpick in the water again, and I'm just going to score along the middle. Oh, it's difficult to do this while looking in the camera. Jeez. Like, customizing ain't hard enough, and then you got to film the fucking thing. Right, here we go. So, I'm not trying to sculpt the hair, I'm just wanting to score a line in the middle, and that's because it'll make it fold a little more naturally when I go to put it on the figure. Now there's one more step that I like to do, is to take the ribbon and wrap it, you can hardly see this, it's very wrap it around the toothpick. And what I feel that does, is if you just push against it lightly, is it gives the ribbon some nice extra dimensionality. Is that a word? Extra dimension. We don't want the hair to lie flat against her head. We want it to add depth to this very flat style we have here. So I'm just going to lay that on. Push it down lightly at the root and take off the excess. And then I'm going to, come on camera, focus. I'm going to start making raised areas that then come back and join up with the main body of the hair. I cannot do this through the camera lens, it's too small. So we don't want the hair to be floating free of the main hair, because then it doesn't have anything to support it and it will snap. We always want it to raise and return to the main body of the hair. Okay. So in that score I put down the middle of the hair is just helping it to bend in a little bit more of a natural way. You see around that edge there, it's got a nice curve to it. And remember that the ribbon can fold over on itself, curl back up, adds that extra dimension that I was talking about. It's not just going left and right, it's coming up and down, and it can curl back on itself. So that's the very basic approach that I take to adding these to the hair. I've done this one a little thicker than I normally would so that it shows up on camera, so I will go back and remove it and rework it in a much smaller style, and then I will go in on the edge. Cannot see this at all, and I will break up that hard edge there with a line and just start adding in more details to the hair so that it looks more like strands rather than one large ribbon. And that's essentially what I'm going for. Once you reach this stage, what you might want to do is let the epoxy cure for say 20-30 minutes and then come back to it when it's a little harder. In that way, every time you touch it, you don't totally change the curve of the hair, you're just adding in the detail. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a few strands. I'm going to try and cover up some of this messy area around here and add some dimension to this pretty flat, boring part here. Okay, and here I am back. I've finished sculpting in her hair. So you can see I've added in those extra strands, and I've also added in some down here and on this side. So there we have it. I think I've added some depth to her hair, made it sufficiently girl hair like. And coincidentally, Chris Lefevre asked me on my previous video as well how I would sculpt fire, and to be honest, Chris, in much the same way as I've sculpted hair here, but going that way, going up the way. It may leave the body a little bit more, whereas the hair falls down upon itself. Fire would tend to leave a bit more, so you may need to use some of that armature technique I told you about with the wire to support the fire going up the way. Don't overdo it with any of this. We don't want people to get too detailed, look too crazy with hair or with fire. It's more just suggesting what's happening and letting the viewer's mind fill the rest in. So there we are. That's how I sculpt girl hair, even on a half-destroyed-faced cyborg lady.
Okay, so I've received this in the post today, and because it's video game related, I've got my other half here. I have to pick my nose. Sorry. What's your name? Hazukashi!
Hi, I'm Matt.
This is my other half, Matt, and he's going to help me open this. You know, like when those guys have unboxing videos and they get their 4-year-olds to help them unbox stuff. This is my 7.5-year-old marriage here. Would you like to help me?
I'm at least this many.
What's that? 6? 7? Right, okay, you're going to have to help me open this. This is a knife, be careful. Do you think you can manage?
Is this a special knife to make figures?
I bought it because I was carving foam with it. Oh. You can stand up if you want,
Okay.
then people won't see your cute face. Bless you, coffee. Please be careful.
Okay.
Look at that, £23.48 customs charge. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's it, make sure the blade's nice and clean. Because people aren't waiting to see what's in the box or anything.
You cannot do it out.
Oh, can I? Oh, okay.
Oh, you open it.
Oh, fucking hell. What's that? Ami? Thank you for shopping with us. Yakati Shmaku. AmiAmi.com, your source for Japanese shit.
Oh, they're pretty. Look. Show
What
it
is
to everyone. Look.
Have you ever wanted to see up a Japanese schoolgirl's skirt? Shop at AmiAmi.com and you might be able to. Pedos. Okay, so what do you think, because I've already told you, so this is a test of how much you actually ever listen to anything I say. What is in this box?
Mario. Or Mario, as some people like to say.
Mario.
This is the Mario Brothers.
Super Mario. Right, okay. Paper. Oh, Jesus.
It's Goomba!
Not sure.
And some hands.
Oh, we've got a big
Or
reflection. Might have to close the window by there so that people can see. But we'll move the camera down so you can see it properly. What else is in there?
And Mario, and mushroom, and coin, and surprise box. I don't know, what do they call it? A coin question block?
So this is this SH Figure Arts, say that if you can, figures from Bandai. This is the Mario figure, and these are the play sets that go with him. I think we should have one more if they got my order right. Oh, good old pedos, they get orders right.
There's some blocks, and another Goomba, and a coin. This is the Mario... Super Mario set? I don't know.
You don't know. That's what it is. Will we open these up?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, different camera angle. What ones do you want to open first? We've got Mario himself, we've got playset A or playset B. This is the block set, that's the pipe set.
The big one.
The big one. Dirty bitch. Okay, go ahead. Which one can I open? Because
That one.
Mario. Mario. I can speak this up.
The things are falling. Oh no. I dropped a little plastic bit. There it is. Okay. didn't know I had so many little bits.
Me neither. Where are the instructions?
There's a little pipe and a big pipe. And a noko shell. Between, so it bounces back and forth. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
And a Goomba. Well, I guess since it's a Japanese version, it's a Kuribo.
Kuribo.
And it's got Mario gloves.
Well, that's interesting that the extra gloves come with the playset and not with Mario. Like Mario gets a block rather than hands. But, oh well.
It's so you buy them all. Oh yeah, and there's a coin too.
I got a coin in mine as well.
And there's stands. I don't
Really know what those are for.
Well, for the coin.
Do you want to open that?
Okay.
So in my one I got this power mushroom, and I got a coin and block. So Mario looks like he's fully articulated. Looks pretty good. His head doesn't move much, surprisingly, but it's not bad. It's difficult with a sort of cartoony character like this, but they have given him quite a lot of articulation. That's nice, and he's not fallen apart yet. Only one face though. That's unusual for these figures. They usually give you multiples.
One Goomba's not enough, so they give us two.
Well, they didn't give us two, bought them separately.
And a coin block with a hole in the bottom. And a coin. And 2 blocks.
Okay, so we've also got instructions, which we'll probably have to use. Looks like the hands, the separate hands, are to hold the Koopa shell.
Or maybe not.
Is that what the instructions
Or maybe
are?
that's what these are for. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. There's little tiny little joiny bits, but I can't be arsed dealing with them. So thumbs in turtle. There we go. Isn't that fun?
Pew! Wop wop.
Wop wop. What's wop wop from?
I don't know. Kapowie!
Okay, so here's the other. Oh, Link's kind of floating off to the side. Here's other video game characters. Do you want to try and make Samus stand up?
No, I like Pit.
You like Pit. Here's Pit.
Hey! Oh,
I know he's all buckled. He's been in a box. What do you want?
he's missing.
His arrow.
His
Yeah,
arrow.
well. Give him a Koopa shell or something.
And his rings got loose.
Yeah. Well, that happens.
Oh well.
That's dirty.
I can't fix his rings!
Well, once your ring's bust, it's bust.
Oh. Okay.
That's why you got to take good care of it. So here's our video game people so far. Do you have a favourite? I know you're only looking at the back of them at the moment, but
Well, I think, I don't know. Link's nice, but Samus is one of my favorites, and I think that one looks nice.
okay.
But Pit is always going to be my favorite.
So what do you think of this Mario one?
It's nice for Mario, I think.
Do you not like Mario?
I think he's kind of boring.
Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, maybe if he wasn't in every game. But he looks good, and they've got nice accessories for him.
Are there any other Mario characters you'd like to see in a figure? If you had to rank your top 3 characters from Mario that you would want to see in the order that you'd want them to be released, what would you choose?
Let's see. If they could do a nice one, I think Peach would be fun, but they'd probably just make her into a weak little Japanese princess, and I just wouldn't like that.
Okay.
But okay, so I'll leave her at 3. Birdo, I would quite like Birdo.
Birdo. Why would you like to see Birdo?
Because, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, no, take that back. Okay, so my second one, I think, would be... I don't know. It'd be nice if they could do some Mario suits.
Okay. That's a good idea. So, like Fire Mario or Frog Mario?
Yeah, or Tanuki, or... I don't know, the raccoon tail one, or the... I don't know, whatever else he's done. Just not Metal Mario. But would that count as 2, or should I think of someone else?
I think you should only pick one of them.
I guess the raccoon one would be quite fun.
Okay.
Because that's simple, and you could easily put the ears on and the tail on if you wanted.
So we've got Peach,
Yeah.
Raccoon Mario.
Yeah. And I suppose the one Mario toy I think they should do of the best Mario character would have to be Wart.
Wart. For anyone who doesn't know who Wart is, can you explain who Wart is? He's only appeared in one game.
Yes, he's from Super Mario Brothers 2.
USA.
2!
The Japanese don't like Mario 2. They refuse
That's not even just the Japanese. You see all the people on the internet that have to, anytime you talk about Mario 2, they have to say, oh, that's not a real Mario game, that was Doki Doki Mario Shinpon Jongjong or something, I don't know. Panic?
Okay. Panic. I've got to the Shin John. I don't think that's right. Anyway.
And they get really upset and they claim that Mario 2 is not a real Mario game, and it is.
So you would want Wart over Bowser?
Yeah. Oh, they've done enough with Bowser.
Yeah.
They've done enough with Bowser.
No Daisy.
Who?
Daisy. Oh, fair enough. Let's go. No one likes Daisy in this house. Okay, well, thank you very much, Matty, for helping me open these toys and playing around with them. Say bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I've been focusing a lot on the actual figures that are going to be going in the Latveria diorama, and I've got Doom and Lucia van Bardas, the Latvian Prime Minister, and a couple of Doom bots. So, well, we'll take them in reverse order. Let's take a look at the Doom bots. Originally, I had wanted to do something very simple with the Ironmonger, so I just took that emblem off the chest and was going for a really simple head design that was from the Doom War comic, but I wasn't feeling it at all, so I sort of started over and I sculpted this head over the Ironmonger, and then I cast it. I'm rubbish at casting, but it came out pretty good. So that I can replicate it on the other guy as well. And attached it to the body, removed the shoulder pads and the pipes. Still got some work to do here, obviously. Not sure what paint job to go with. This is a classic style of Doombot, and they were classically pink and white, but I'm not sure with this guy. Might make him green and silver, something that's a bit less sort of campy than the pink and white. And I'm going to do the same with this guy. They're going to be pretty much identical. Then we have Lucia, who you saw me sculpting the hair for. I've gone and smoothed that out with a knife and some sandpaper, and I'm really quite happy with how her hair has come out. I'm articulating it there so her head still rotates, with these pipes attaching her fucked up face to her fucked up bosom and spine. So that's Lucia. I've given her a fucked up hand and cut the claws off the black cat. I'm really not happy with this hand, though I can't really think of any other hand to use, so we'll just deal. Giving her boots And a bit of a military style jacket thing. Shoulder pads. That's Lucia. And finally Victor himself. I've sculpted the head. I'm quite happy with it. We'll see when it's painted. And the chest. I've gone for sort of a buttoned up tunic that allowed me to split this cloth skirt so that it would articulate more easily. And I've gone along and sculpted the armour detail and the belt, and that doesn't hinder his articulation. And I've given him a bit suggestion of the tentacles because I wanted it to fit in with the sort of motif of the overall diorama. So I'm about halfway done with the sculpting, I suppose. And it's always difficult to replicate it over, but now that I've actually decided on the design of one half, it is just a case of replicating it to the other side. So I should move fairly quickly on that, I hope. And so I'll call it quits there for the time being. Thanks very much for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments as always, and remember to like, share and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Any questions, let me know, I'll do my best to answer them. Goodbye.
Ask him I had to put pants on and you don't.
I never said you had to put pants on.
Okay, bye.
I'm leaving that in.